All right, she's done. Midnight Sasquatch. Just your basic run-of-the-mill Telecaster with a cryptozoological theme. I'm going to talk a little bit about the 3D carving and how much fun that is. I'll geek out on the specs. If you want to miss all that, scoot on forward and you can hear what she sounds like. If not, hang out. I decided I wanted to do instruments in a 3D carving style. I wanted the instruments to be able to tell a story, not just, hey, I cut out a guitar body and I painted it this color and it looks cool. That's great, but we have factories that do that. Not only do we have factories that do that, we have factories with a lot of machinery that does that really well. And I feel like if the machinery is doing the basic stuff really well, and I have an okay CNC machine, so if we have that technology available, why are we just using it to make basic stuff that we made before the technology was available? Why aren't we allowing that to enhance our experience and make life more interesting? So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying not to copy the big guys and just do my own thing and really push the limits of what I can do artistically with the tools I have. And on this one, I chose Sasquatch. Ever since I was a kid, every time we go camping, it's like, what's in the woods? You know, ghosts, elves. My mom used to have me build little gnome houses every time we go in the woods. It's a good time. Fond memories. And so I enjoy the metaphysical. I enjoy the cryptozoological aspects of life because of the mystery. Is it really there? Who knows? But it's fun to think about. It's better than thinking about taxes. So what I did was I took Sasquatch off of a gentleman who, in Colorado, high desert CNC art. You can find him on Etsy. Makes some really good Bigfoots. I was going to model it myself off of some photographs and sketches, but I was just struggling to get the right tone, and then I ran across this guy's Sasquatch, and I'm like, that is exactly what I wanted anyway. So I paid him money, said thank you, and used his Sasquatch. I put him in this, so that he just made the Sasquatch. The tree is a basic tree package, and I 3D modeled the moon based on a height map that I made off a photograph of the moon. So if you run your finger across this moon, every crater is a real moon crater. NASA, if you need to take this guitar up to space so your astronauts aren't bored and you got a lunar mission and they get lost, I'm just saying they could probably use this to navigate. Probably better ways to do that, but just in case, you never know. No other way to do it is as rock and roll as this. Sorry, that was dumb. Why did I stick my tongue out? All right. I even went as far as taking my logo and making it 3D carve. Most guys, when they 3D carve, they take one piece of wood, they remove everything and leave the raised surface. What I did on this, all across the board, was I took a flat surface, inlaid a thicker piece of wood that stuck up, and then carved it down so it sticks out a little bit. So this is actually inlaid and 3D carved. 2 pieces of wood here. That reduces waste, because if I were to do this out of one piece, I would have had to remove a whole giant amount of wood off the top. And B, it allows me to do this two-tone effect. So that's walnut sitting into cherry. That's fun. I mean, it feels like embossing, like you have on a hat. You just sit there all day. It's got a texture. It's like bread. Sorry, I'll stop being dumb. Probably not. So that's your theme, Sasquatch. I painted it by hand, then used my airbrush to do this kind of a black sunburst. But the reason I did that, so it had this kind of halo effect around the moon to show that the moon is bright and shining in the forest, just illuminating the elusive beast. As a Telecaster, let's spec it. We got a Fender Yosemite pickup in the bridge. I think Yosemite is appropriate for an instrument based on the old Bigfoot there. And I have a no-caster in the neck. These actually are just pickups I had laying around. This whole guitar was made from parts that were just lonely, sitting in instruments that I had made, and I didn't like the way they sounded. I wasn't going to play them anyway, so they were just laying around collecting dust. So let's put them in something funny. I didn't know if this was going to sound good though. Turns out I really like the sound, and I wonder why. I have some guesses here. First off, cherry, a little harder, a little heavier than your standard alder, your standard ash. Both those woods are common on Telecasters and Strats. Maple is your common neck wood. This doesn't have any of those woods. This is cherry, a little bit of walnut, cherry neck, and an olive wood fingerboard. What all these woods have in common is, other than the walnut, they're a little bit buttery. How to say? So like, cherry is about as dense and heavy as maple, but when you cut it, it's a little creamier, almost like a really cold stick of butter that you're cutting with a butter knife. It's not that soft, obviously, but that's more what it's like to put a knife through it than it is maple's like trying to cut through a rock. It's very hard. So I think something about the creaminess of that wood might come into the tone. Same thing with the fingerboard. It's kind of a very it's got a little bit softer than your rosewood, but it's got a creamier kind of texture to the cut. Another weird thing I did, I don't use on this guitar metal string ferrules. Normally you'd have inserts here with chrome plated or stainless steel, nickel, whatever, I don't know, anodized aluminum, whatever they make them out of. They're just metal pieces that the ball ends of the string can rest in, and it's a nice secure spot. The strings it's very solid, and it's also has an effect on the tone, I think. This, I have a hole, and the string ball end rests on a piece of ingrained maple that's stuck inside the hole. Strings go through that maple dowel right to the bridge. Because it is not as hard as the metal, I think that has an effect on the tone. The response of this guitar compared to my American Standard, which this guitar should be brighter than my American Standard because this is harder wood, right? Alder and a maple neck, but this is cherry wood body, so right out of the gate should be brighter. And the response of this bridge pickup is also very bright compared to, it doesn't have the bass end of the Fender Broadcaster pickup that's in my American Standard. But yet this guitar has more of a natural compression to it. On my American Standard, I will roll the tone back by half, and it really sounds good when I throw a compressor on it to really smooth it out, because the notes are bright and like twangy, if you will. This guitar still has the twang, but it's like naturally the tone is a little bit more natural, I want to say. It's a real organic response. It sounds like there's more wood in this than metal, if that makes sense. You ever play an acoustic guitar and like you hear the metal strings and you wish it sounded more woody? This electric guitar has a much more woody tone to it than your standard production fare. And I think it's because the ball ends of the strings are resting on wood, and the rest of the guitar is made out of a creamier type of tone wood than your standard production stuff. Anyway, I think I've talked enough. There's nothing really else to say that you don't know. It's a Telecaster, though. Different materials. That's it. Here we go. I've got a pedal board set up. Right now there's nothing going through it other than a tuner, but there is a brown protein pedal that I will turn on and off periodically. I have a 65 Deluxe Reverb reissue amp back here. I'm going to start with the bridge position. Tone just a hair back. Not halfway back like we do in American Standard. Just a little tweak. All right. Let's see what she does. Try the neck. let's try a little Stones lick. Throw some meat on her. I don't have enough pieces of music figured out. Alright, let's try something a little jazzy. And middle position just for some funk. To be honest, I thought this guitar is not going to sound very good, but I'm going to take it out to jam sessions just for the laughs. Now I think I want to take it out and play it places because it sounds better than any Telecaster I've had before. I love Telecasters. I don't know why, because every Telecaster I've ever had, I've sold. I've sold or I've modified trying to get it to work. You know the deal, right? Like you get one that sounds good, and then you get tired of the sound or you sell it. Or you get one that doesn't sound good, and you swap the pickups out until you think it sounds how you like, and then you get rid of it. This guy, I'm not having that issue with. Like everything I've been trying to get out of a Telecaster, I think I did it. And it's probably because Telecasters have driven me nuts for so long that, and I've tried so many different things that maybe I just landed on something that works for me. Might not work for you, works for me. Anyway, and it's weird. So, cool. It's a long video. Hopefully you hung in there. Hopefully you like it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. Maybe, Martians invading. I don't know. A witch on a broomstick. I don't know. I might make a mandolin next. I'm going to rest on this and see what the muse whispers in my ear. Until then, have a good one. Thanks for watching.